Hello, everybody. How's our levels? Blah, 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 blah. How's yours?
Blah, 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 blah.
Yours is a little bit quiet.
I'm always quiet, apart from when I'm playing a computer game.
Right. Hi, everyone. How are you? It's been quite a while since we've done one of these. How you all been? What's been going on? Hello, Dave. Lovely to see you the other night. Hello, Atta. How are you? I hope you're doing well.
Your volume is really loud.
Yeah, let me just bring mine down a bit. Hang on. Let's go to about there. How's that?
A bit better, yeah.
Yep. Cool. Okay, so a lot's been going on. It's been a very hectic Christmas and New Year, with all sorts of things. Hence the reason why we haven't been able to get on here and stream or anything like this. So this is our first time back.
In about 2 months, hasn't it?
It's been something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do, we are going to talk about the realities of being an adult with an adult life in an adult
reality.
Yeah. An adult life in an adult world, and also what that means for learning an instrument, and also the difficulties that can arise from being an adult and not having hours and hours to yourself to sit there and hone your craft. Also, what we're going to do is talk about the reality of what's happened. So we have had to take a bit of a hiatus. So what happens when you're learning an instrument and then you have to come back to that instrument after a period of time and brush back on
We're going to find out.
Yeah, we're going to find out. So we are going to see what Carrie can remember, what she can't remember, and we are going to talk about what we should practice to start getting ourselves back on track to where we were.
From the start.
From the start. Right, so let us, hopefully everything works. Yeah, as you can see, I'm wearing monster slippers.
You're on a kids drum kit for your students.
Because one of the reasons why I haven't been able to stream as much is I started, after this break, welcome to our habitat. Thank you very much, Ed. It's nice to be in your habitat. Yeah, I have. Went back into teaching music again, and I have all of a sudden got a lot of students over a very short period of time. So that's my Mondays and Tuesdays basically written off. So we're trying to fit everything sort of around what I've got going on.
Why did we do that? Because we had two dogs. Both had cancer. One parsley. That's interesting. Sadly passed away. That's what I meant to say. We had to put him to sleep on the 1st of January.
Yeah, so Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, that was a very Happy New Year for us. And then obviously with Bear. So yeah, that's hence why you're doing teaching. But
yes.
Popular. You're obviously very good.
It's really good. I have to say, when I used to teach, I wasn't overly keen on it and I didn't really enjoy it. But for some reason, this time it's different. I've got some absolutely lovely students. I've got students who are enthusiastic, and that is one of the biggest wishes that you can have as a teacher, is having people who really want to learn and actually showing a genuine interest. So, yeah, in that sense, it's good.
Good.
Right, let's crack on then. So
you talk like strangers.
As in, it's been so long since we've seen each other.
Right.
All right. And also, I've got issues with my feet, so my feet hurt constantly at the moment. So
this is called getting old.
Yeah, this is basically just old age. You all know how it feels out there for most of you. Right, so let's go from the start. We are going to play our most basic rock rhythm type stuff, and we're going to see how Carrie fares. And but it's going to be interesting to see how
my brain retains any information.
Yep, and how technique can deteriorate over time, because that's a very important thing, especially when you play drums and you play to the more extreme side of drumming, whether you like death metal drummers or fast rock drummers, really the jazz drummers. If you take a lot of time out, it can massively impact the abilities of what you could do, same as any sport. All right, so let's start off with our good old basic.
Or just join in whenever.
You're just going to... Over to you. Good. So perfectly in time, nice and clean, precise. Excellent. May be tired of this pandemic era, Well, I had COVID at Christmas. So,
that's another reason. That's
yes,
another thing.
yeah, that was another thing. So I had COVID at Christmas, but as much as I know, I was very lucky. I had a very mild form of COVID, and now I have that luxury of not being absolutely terrified of every other human being when I'm out and about in public.
You're immune for a few months.
Yeah, I'm immune for a few months, and the weight that gets lifted off you when you have that feeling is unparalleled. I have to say
that variant.
I had the easy variant, I think. But yeah, so I'm in kind of a privileged position when it comes to COVID now. Okay, right. So let's try it with a slightly more bass drums in.
Oh.
Okay, now we're going to change the hand pattern.
Oh God, hang on. Oh, I missed a hit on the hi-hat.
And we're starting to swing a little bit there. So, no, it's all right, go again.
So what is it?
That's it. That's better. Okay, now we are going to start bringing some drum rolls.
You did a crash.
Yeah.
So what did you do?
Snare first, snare second.
A bit. Hang on. You did.
Boom, boom.
Hang on.
Yep, keep going.
Oh, you did two. Sorry.
It's okay. So how does that feel?
It feels weird because I haven't done it for so long, but
Yeah, does it feel a little bit alien to you? Like things don't feel quite as comfortable?
yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the things that you always find when you take a break. When you sit back down at a drum kit, it feels awkward and everything doesn't feel natural again. So you have to, after a good amount of playing, it can take sometimes just a couple of hours of playing. You can get sort of, you can pick up where you left off quite quickly if you play the right things and start working on your techniques again. All right, so now we're going to start doing the in-betweeny stuff.
Oh God. Hang on, what was that?
Yep. Good. Okay, good. Let's go for...
Oops. Oh. No. What is it?
That's it. 1 and a 2.
Oh, sugar. Hang on. Oh, I quite... Hang on.
Yep.
Oh. No. Sorry.
That's better. Keep going.
Oh.
I'm going to have to sit on a different chair. This one's giving me ache. Oh, this is my student's drum stool. And it's very low.
That's better.
Oh,
Is that right?
good. Oh, right. Okay, now I'm really high and far away from the kit, so never mind. We'll make it work rather than me readjusting the kit for without lessons. Okay, good. So now we're going to start. I'm just going to start improvising a little bit, and I'm just going to play some different kind of drum fills, different bits and bobs, and we're going to see what you can follow. Okay.
Right.
All right.
So you did. Was that with bass?
Yep.
No. Was it back to snare?
So ba boom boom ba boom boom ba boom boom.
No. So ba. No, ba.
Boom boom ba boom boom ba boom.
Boom.
Yeah, and the last boom. Yeah, the last boom
Right.
is your
Boom
going
and
into the
crash.
new bar.
Oh God, hang on. All right, let me just think about this for a minute. So it's. So.
Yeah, boom boom ba boom boom ba boom boom. That's it.
That.
Good. Yep. Atta says, is there anybody playing drums without sitting? Have you ever seen? Yes, I have. You do get some of these one-man band guys who have all the strings attached to their various limbs and things and can actually play by stomping, which is really, really entertaining. But also, there was a drummer for Steve Vai on one of his tours who had literally this, basically an electric kit strapped to the front of his body.
Really?
So you know the way people in the old days, the people who used to walk around with the cinema.
In the old days.
In the old days, you know, the cinema treats, they'd sell like cigarettes and they'd have the sort of straps that would come down on the big tray in front of
Like
them.
pop, they still do that with popcorn.
Oh,
in
there you go.
America
So
and stuff
yeah,
like that,
popcorn vendors.
Yeah.
So it's basically like that, but with a drum kit in front of you. So you're carrying the entire weight of an electric kit. And then he had a kick drum as well down there. So he was standing up and playing on stage. It was absolutely awesome.
Sounds
So,
cool.
yes, the answer is I have seen that, and it was beautiful.
We have to Google that now.
Yeah, okay. Next one.
So. No,
Yeah. Boom, ba, 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 boom. That's it. Yep.
not another crash.
So you
Three.
would end with a crash to go back into your new bar.
So you did. Did you?
Yep.
No. Hang on.
Yeah.
No.
That's it.
Oh, sugar. Is that it?
Yep. Just need to get it tidied up a bit.
Hang on. Whoops.
Okay.
Kind of.
Steve Vai was a great guitarist as far as I know. He still is a great guitarist. I'm hoping he hasn't died since I last viewed his work. But yeah, Steve Vai is probably arguably one of the world's great guitarists. Absolutely phenomenal player, incredibly unique style, and always incredibly entertaining, and likes to enjoy what he does. And a very lovely and intelligent man as well whenever you see him interviewed. So plenty of ticks there for you. Right, so let's go 4. Nice
So-
combination of things there. Boom, ba. So
What was it?
1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
Is that right? Oh. So.
Ba, 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 boom, boom, ba.
Oh, sugar. Oh, sugar. I did it that again. Hang on.
One and 2 and 3 bass snare.
Hang on.
Yeah. And then we want to try and get that as a flam.
Like that.
That's more like,
Yeah.
yeah, more like it there.
Is that it?
Yep, and again. Boom, ba, boom, just dum ba boom, and then back into your groove. Yep.
Oops.
You have to have a little rest at the end. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1.
All right. Oh no. Oh, hang on. Let me just get it one more time. No.
I think 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1.
Hang on.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1. That's it.
No. No.
That's it.
For God's sake.
Okay. You can do it. Right. Now I'm going to try. I'm going to turn that off to start with.
It's the joys of all the technology distracting you away from life.
Hang on. Excuse me, everyone. One moment. She gave me this watch.
I
So
know.
she's responsible for all the little pings.
I already put mine on Do Not Disturb though, so.
On. Right. Yep, I think that's yes. Good. Right. Now we're going to try changing the rhythm slightly.
So I just noticed the pink watch on you.
Pink. It's beautiful. Okay, we are going to try
Right.
changing to...
Have I done that before?
No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Right.
So you would count this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and it's got a bit more of a swing feel to it.
So.
And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Am I doing that right with my bass though?
Yep. And 2 and
Am I having to do the bass on the 2?
on the 1 and the 3. 1, 2, 3. So it's exactly the same as with a basic rock beat.
Mm-hmm.
We play 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
Bass, snare,
Yeah.
bass, snare. All we're doing is turning it
60.
into triplets, basically. Yeah. Triplet, 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 triplet.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was doing
Yeah.
anyway. What is yours? French grip? Rock grip? No.
Oh, playing style.
Oh.
Okay. I primarily was a heavy metal drummer. So that was my initial style, I suppose. I started off playing...
You do punk stuff?
I did grunge stuff, then kind of punk stuff, got into the more heavy stuff like, say, Pantera, groups like that, started playing that. I got into Cradle of Filth, started playing more kind of death metal, black metal stuff, which involved all the kind of blast drumming and everything. But then I started to find I was stagnating a bit. I just sounded mechanical. I didn't have any feel to my playing at all. Then we did some tour work with a guy called Carmine Apiece. You may know the name. Brother of Vinny Apiece from who's played with Black Sabbath and Dio. Carmine was in the band Vanilla Fudge and Cactus and did loads of stuff. And he was one of the first people who really sort of introduced me, watching someone playing polyrhythmic, showing that you could play heavy but with groove and lots of sort of ghost notes and really intricate stuff.
Is that polyrhythmic?
Polyrhythms are where you play rhythms under rhythms.
What's that?
Good question. It's highly complicated and not something I'm going to try and do on a kid's kit. But yeah, so from there, I guess my playing is primarily rock, and sometimes I venture into more heavy metal stuff. But then I do kind of like some more interesting kind of funk stuff, sort of some shuffles, and I do now these days. I like a bit of everything, and it's nice to be in a position where you're almost forced sometimes to play in styles that you're not used to. So yeah, that's what I would say my playing style is. Okay, good. Right. So that is our swing. So we're going to try changing that slightly.
Oops. that right?
Yep.
Oops.
Think of 1, a 2, 3, a 4.
I was doing that, right?
Yeah. Okay. Over on to the hi-hat. We are going to do disco time.
Oh, like Radio Gaga.
Yep.
So. Oh, well, hang on. The thing's not closed. Yes, it is. Is it because you're... No.
Oh, yeah. I'll
So would you do it on 1 and 3? Like that?
Your foot on this particular example, your foot is the same. Your feet and hands are playing on the 1, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, right. Like that.
Yeah.
What is bouncing? Is it my dragging? Am I dragging?
Yeah, you're dragging your stick
All right,
slightly.
hang on. This is my lazy technique now because I haven't been playing very
Yeah.
long. So, is that better?
Yeah, and it's your left hand that will be weakest again.
That's better though.
That's it.
Although I'm crashing. Why do I always clash my sticks?
Okay.
Right, so I don't have to keep doing it.
Oh, this really hurts.
So. Oops. Oh, that was interesting.
Yeah, that was just a little drag. Okay, maybe in music we are what we listen. Yeah, generally are. We are subliminally inspired and crafted by the music we listen to. I think that pretty much goes for every musician. You'll get the occasional musician who are just completely unique and have their absolutely own style, but they are very few and far between. Most people are products of our musical environment, generally. Okay, right. So now we're going to try and do some open and closes. So. This is really hard when I'm playing kids' kit and I've got to lean back in a chair. And just so everyone can see what Carrot is doing.
Don't look at my feet. Right, so. Oh, didn't trigger.
That's it. Good.
It's better than my face, anyway.
Okay. Oh, we want that one. Right. Now we are going to try.
Oh, hang on. So it's it's
Ba-
up, down.
Bass drum. You're literally going to put accelerator down, clutch up, as if you were driving a car. Yeah. So.
Hang on.
So right foot goes down and left foot comes up when you hit the hi-hat. Yeah, and then you drop the hi-hat again and hit.
Hang on. Is that it?
That's more like
my
it.
bouncy foot.
That's it.
So. Oh, sugar, hang on. No. So is it?
Boom, tick, ka, ba, and then you.
Oh, sugar. So, hang on. Yeah, what else? Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Do again.
That's what I just did.
You're not playing the bass drum.
What?
There should be. The bass drum needs to come when you lift your foot up.
Like that?
Yeah, and then drop your foot back down for the next beat.
No. Oh, right,
Nearly,
I get it.
yep.
Hang on. Oh. It's that, isn't it? Hang on. No, damn it. Hang on. Was that it? But apart from the fact
go
that
again.
I fucked up then.
You're getting it?
Oh, so it's like that. So it's...
Yeah.
Ah.
Yes.
Oh, sugar. That's better.
All right, Atta is coming out with some absolute cracking... You should be the interviewer, Atta. In your opinion, what is the role of drum player in a band? Do you know some bands that the drummer has the vital role?
They all do. They're foundations, aren't they?
Yeah. One of the things with drummers, which is kind of one of the privileged positions of drummers. Now, generally when musicians leave a band or join a band, there will be a bit of difference in the, like, for example, if a certain style of guitarist, etc., leaves and they get another style in, there can be a bit of a change in the sound of the band. When you change drummers, you affect the complete feel of the song. If you have someone who's more of a rock drummer and then you get in someone maybe who's a bit jazzier, it's a completely different world. And the sound of the music will completely change. You can look at if you try and look at bands, for example, like a good one is Iron Maiden. Now, if you listen to early Iron Maiden, you had Clive Burr on drums. Clive was a great drummer, but just a very solid, powerful rock drummer.
He died really young though, didn't he? Because I'm friends with his...
Yeah. He died of...
It was a heart attack, wasn't it?
He had...
Or a stroke or something?
Was it? Did he have like...
No, sorry, it was like MS, wasn't it?
Yeah, didn't he have multiple sclerosis or something like that?
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so after he left, Nico McBrain from Iron Maiden took over.
No, that's wrong, sorry, because she's got MS.
Oh,
He must have died of... I think he might have died of a heart attack.
he had some
problem.
sort of motor degenerative kind of disease.
Sorry.
But
getting excitable.
he after he left, Nico McBrain came in, and Nico McBrain has more of a kind of more flair, more of a jazzy feel to some of his playing, and therefore it allowed the band to sort of change slightly musically. They could do different things. The Iron Maiden sort of gallop was really kind of enforced because of the speed of Nico McBrain's bass drumming. So yeah, they changed the entire sound of the band, and you'll find this with a lot of bands who've gone through various musicians. You will notice a vast difference in the feel of the music when drummers change. Blink 182 is another one. You listen to early Blink for the old drummer. Again, he's very basic. He's okay. Then you get Travis Barker in. The whole band just changes and just shifted up a gear. But does the drummer play a vital role? Sometimes you do get drummers who are at the front of a band. But I find generally, I suppose you could say a band like Rush, for example, where you had Neil Peart, absolutely incredible drummer, what people class as one of the drummers.
Is that the Tom Sawyer song?
Yeah.
Where he did it all randomly, yeah. There was really, I can't explain it, but it was really...
Yeah, it's incredibly... But he was one of these people who wrote every drum part. He would play the songs note for note. And, that band, each of the members is a very important part, but Neil Peart's drumming is one of the things that stood out most because, A, he had a bloody massive drum kit, but B, the drums were so integral to that part of the song. You could probably say the same for a band like Tool as well. Again, the drumming is far more of an essential part of the song, while someone like the Rolling Stones, Charlie Watts, was more of a supportive drummer. So he played just what the music required. Same with somebody like Chad Smith is another one from the Chili Peppers. Chad's an amazing drummer, an incredibly funky drummer, and he plays what the music needs, while other drummers are there in the forefront making the drum, like a lead drummer, if you want, rather than a normal drummer. Same as you get a guitarist or a lead guitarist. You can have lead drummers, for want of a better phrase. So there are drummers out there, and sometimes you get touring drummers who they will have a band who support them. Basically, so the drummer is the important part of the band, and the rest of the musicians are just his backing band, basically. So there are bands who the drummer is at the forefront. But I find it tends to be the drummers who are more showy, who maybe their playing is more integral to the actual part of the music. There she is. Hello, lovely.
I don't know if you'll pick up any useful tips from me right now, but yeah.
No, you're doing well. So, yes, Helen is one of my students. She's absolutely fantastic. Helen is I'm going to blow so much smoke up your ass now, Helen. Helen is one of these people that you can not only see that she's got the enthusiasm for learning, but also she puts the time in. And between lessons, the difference of how she's progressed is really exceptional. And also she's looking at, she's been watching our streams as well, picking up that stuff. One of the greatest things that you can ask for as a drum teacher is that not only does your student do their homework, but they then go further ahead and sort of, oh, I've done this and I've looked into this and I've done that. That is just the thing you pray for.
Is it because it makes your job easier, or just because you enjoy it?
It's because then it also gives you something more to work with. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, I've tried this. And you're like, oh, good, brilliant. So that opens this door. We can go down this avenue. Oh, bless you. Thank you, darling. So, yes, mark my words, she will be, she's already doing really well. And we want to try and get her into a band, but she's not keen on that idea. But I think you should. You would be a credit to the drumming world. Alrighty. So we have done some flams, we've done some disco.
Swing.
So let's try a bit of a... Oh, let me switch. Boop.
So, you're hitting it.
So you're going bass, tap, snare, tap. Bass, tap, snare, tap.
No. So
So
bass.
you start with the bass on its own.
No. So hang on. Let me get it in my head. So bass, tap, snare,
tap. Bass, tap.
No. Sorry. That.
Yeah, so bass, tap, snare, tap. Bass, hi-hat, snare, hi-hat.
Oh bollocks. Hang
Think
on.
of that. Love and marriage,
Don't put
love
that in my
and marriage.
That's horrible. Hang on. So bass, tap, snare, tap.
Yeah.
Bass, tap, snare, tap.
That's it.
Well, shit.
Sugar went out the window then.
Oh, well, yeah. Well,
Helen
we're
did
all
say
adults.
she was really impressed at how you managed to not swear.
She doesn't know me very well. Was it because I just? Do you know? Does she know that from you that I swear?
No, as in from when people get things wrong, generally they tend to swear. The fact that you can say sugar every time instead of
Well,
swearing.
that's gone out the window then.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's it.
Ooh.
No.
It's been a long time.
It has.
I have to put my filter back on.
As Atta says, yeah, history, we know drums are the first musical instruments. Yeah, they are. Whether you're keeping the oarsman of a ship in time or you're drumming for your tribe to dance, yeah, drums were there in the beginning. You had a great run of sugars.
Now it's shit.
Yeah, now it's shits and fucks. Okay, good. So, we've gone through a few things there. Oh, we haven't done the little jazz jobby, which is... Oh, shuffle. So 1, a
Together.
2, a
Oh,
3,
God,
a
what?
4. So first of all... Yeah, 1, a 2, a 3, a 4,
Right.
a 1.
Right. So you're doing that on 1 and 3 again? On
Yeah,
bass.
so... Okay.
Are we
Are
back?
we back?
I can't see myself, but
Hang on.
I'm sure we are.
Okay, let us know if we're back, ladies and gents. I think we are.
Technical issues.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had one of those blue screens of death, which is...
And it had a weird, sad mushroom face, didn't it? Oh, no,
it's
sad
one of
face.
those dreaded screens that any computer user really doesn't want to see.
Sorry, I just wondered where I got the sad mushroom face on. It was a sad face, but it's because you've got a little bot over there that has a little mushroom head, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not me looking mental.
Okay, thank you, TL.
Hi, TL.
Right, okay, we'll press on. If it happens again, then that means something's wrong with my computer.
Which is another expense
Which is,
we don't need.
yeah, something I really don't need right now.
I think I've got my... Right, you were getting me to do the cowboy thing, weren't you?
Yes, I just need to... There's one more thing that's got to load up. Oh, by the way, thank you, Vincent, for following. I do appreciate that. Sorry we couldn't acknowledge it at the time, as things were going rubbish.
Yeah,
Okay,
had a few issues.
Right, okay. We appear to be back and running. Like I say, we'll keep going for as long as we can. If it has a problem again, then I'm afraid we'll have to call it a night. So, what we're going to talk about now are what we need to refresh ourselves on if we... No, actually, what we're going to do, change of plan, we are going to talk about the kind of things that we want to have covered by this stage. And I suppose the basics that you want to have under your belt for sort of your basic rock drumming at the point that you are accomplished enough to be able to handle kind of most rock drum type stuff. So, what we want to do is, when I find my thing again, there we go, right, both, there we go. Wrong one.
Yeah, don't want to zoom in there.
That's it, that's what we want. And take that off. Right, okay. So the first thing I would say when we need to be able to play rock grooves, we need to be able to play fills, we need to be able to move around the kit, playing our grooves and things on different parts of the kit.
We need for the computer not to crash.
Yeah, we need for the computer not to crash. We need to have started doing various things with the hi-hat, including opening the hi-hat, closing the hi-hat, keeping time as well. And also we wanted to start on playing dynamically. So we don't want everything to be just... We want to start being more kind of...
Do we have to do the head thing as well?
Yeah, just getting into it. Actually getting feel in the playing. So on a quick sort of covering basis, and we've covered a lot of that with what we've just done now. Also say the timekeeping, being able to keep time while you're playing fills, while you're playing grooves, so having your left foot, you have to take your foot off, that's it. Your left foot keeping time underneath drum fills and grooves, so that's another important thing as well. There will be, I would say, shuffles, for example, and are probably not that essential. Out of most bands' generic cover band song lists, there's probably two songs that I can think of that most bands play that will involve a shuffle. Tush by ZZ Top is one of them, and Tie Your Mother Down by Queen. Generally, in the covers bands where I'm from, a lot of the stuff is more your kind of rock groove type things. Now, we need to be able to do, when we play our rock grooves, we need to be able to play our typical grooves that go along with the eighth notes of the hi-hat. But then we need to start getting into the quarter note grooves that start to bring in bass drums in between the hits. So
I'm not there yet.
no, but that's kind of the next step, because once you get to that point, you can start doing, for example, You're All Right Now by Free.
just remember distinctly the Wrigley's advert.
Yeah, when we start playing faster grooves, things like that sort of covers that kind of element as well. As we said, our kind of disco stuff, opening and closing the hi-hat while we're doing those kind of things. So that, I would say, your generic average drummer on the rock scene, that is where they are at. And also flams as well. Flams are very important, just for one of those things that if you can flam, it opens you up to doing some really nice easy fills. Oop, pardon me, hitting the stick. So flams are important. Triplets are one of those things that are kind of important as well when we come to things like drum fills, and we touched on that before. Remember, right, left, bass, right, left, bass, right, left, bass, right, left, bass.
Maybe.
So those are another thing that's important. And when we do our drum fills, we not only want to be able to use 8th notes and 16th notes, like we want to start getting into using kind of triplets if we're sort of like or instead of going right left, we might use right left, or right left, right left. Because the feel of the groove changes when you start swinging more, so there you need to play the triplet feels and the 6s and the 3s that will work with that. Also, you can use them in straight rock grooves if you want. That kind of thing. So, as it says, which one important while playing? Which one important? Accuracy or fluency? Both. Just as important, because you can be deadly accurate, but you will sound like a metronome. If you haven't got that kind of fluidity and fluency in your playing, you'll just sound like a machine. So I think if you want to be a good drummer, you need both, and you only achieve both by practicing a lot. And I realised we forgot to change the bit at the bottom where it says Kaz and Beardy's journey. We're on 19 and that says 18. Whoops.
Oh, you did
That's
that,
my bad.
yeah.
By these styles, you create new dimensions. You do. You open a lot of space and a lot of interpretation, and it's a wonderful big old world out there, full of excitement and exploration. Right. So, what we have covered, and remember, the one of the things, there are so many different grooves and fills. You know, the limits are endless. There are kind of I think what we would call our bog standard kind of things that we could use in most songs. So we might run a few of those now. As I say, this is just a catch-up lesson. One of the main things, if you're playing, as Carrie knows from playing some of the songs she's played, a lot of the time the songs are going to be different versions of this beat, just with some different foot patterns. So you take something like Teenage Kicks. Now, the aim is for us to gain the independence of the feet from the hands. So we can listen to the riff of a song, and like, say, Tina Kitsch, bow, down, da, 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 down, da, 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 down. So we want to try and reflect that with the snare and the bass drum. So that's where you get that boom, bam, boom, boom, bam, boom, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam. And most rock songs and pop songs, a lot of the time, will be different variations of that kind of thing. We will get in something like Living on a Prayer, drum fill, like so.
He did a double hit sometimes, didn't he? He did a double hit as well, every sort of 3.
Oh, well, boom, boom, ba, boom, boom, ba, boom, 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 ba, boom, boom, ba, boom, boom, ba, dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it was kind of like that, wasn't it?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. And again, using crashes. Boom, boom, boom. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So again, we've got what we did earlier, that ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. Things like that are really important. Drum rolling round the kit is another important factor. Little fills like really, really popular, simple fills that are kind of one of the earliest things we want to learn. Just simple things. Ones like that we've covered.
That was the cult as well.
Yeah, the cult did that. Yeah, a low time and She Sells Sanctuary, isn't it? Or Sanctuary, yeah. So with all these things, it's a case of if you can get these things under your belt, that you could probably, I would say, level-wise, you could play quite comfortably at jam nights if you knew the songs. Roughly, you could busk your way through a lot of pop and rock songs. Because from there on, then we start getting into the more intricacies of various songs where you might get things, especially when you start playing things like disco or soul or anything with swing feels in it. We have to start incorporating different techniques. But I think where the stage that we are at now, you can do most of the stuff that is required. It will just be a case of being able to listen to songs and mimic what's going on in there. There's nothing that goes on in those songs that you wouldn't be able to handle.
What, like a bit of Rammerstein?
Rammerstein's probably not that difficult. Because a lot of theirs sort of very just driving industrial. So their kind of stuff usually involves like a...
What about Derishagid? No, Derishagid is different to that. Derishagid? I can't remember.
I don't know that one.
It's the one with the video of a vampire girl that's been chased by werewolves. It's quite a good video, actually.
I don't know that one. But generally industrial...
Derishagid. Sorry.
If you've got that driving sort of... it's... A lot of the time they're not complex beats because they are just a driving force behind the music.
Deutschland's quite difficult as well.
I'll have to have a listen. It's been a long time since I listened to Rammerstein. We know that some use their hands and some use their sticks. Some use their hands.
Oh,
and
you
some
mean
use
like
sticks and
acoustic? You know, like people are like got those little drums.
Oh, what are the main differences?
Campfires.
Generally, completely different sound is one of the things. Also, you wouldn't want to use, if you were using like proper like timbales and congas and things like that. Generally, you wouldn't want to use sticks on them because they will a lot of the time they will damage the skins. So you get completely different control, different techniques as well. A lot of finger technique. You know, some people do like sort of hitting on one side and hitting on the other. You can press the skins in to actually, as you play, increase the tone of the drum. So it's a completely different sound. The drum kit, I would say, is more for an all-round essential part of a band, where other percussive elements are usually an accompaniment or an addition. So, I think...
Oh, got a twitching eye. Sorry, yeah.
So what we're going to do is Carrie's homework, if she gets time, because remember, that's the point. One of the things we were going to talk about was being an adult and trying to incorporate this into your everyday life. We understand that as an adult, trying to get the time, especially if you are a parent, if you have if you're a student, if you have a job which requires you to work long hours, trying to fit the time in to play an instrument can be very demanding. And it's especially if you're trying to get into that mindset of you'll come home, you may have been in the office all day, you're mentally exhausted, to be able to sit down at a drum kit or pick up the guitar and try and learn something is very difficult. And it's not always at the top of our priority list, and sometimes just life gets in the way. But probably one of the things I could suggest with being a drummer, and this is, to be honest, how drummers tend to learn a lot of songs. The car stereo is a marvellous thing. Just be careful when you use your pedals in the car as pedals on a drum kit, because you may accelerate straight into someone's arse. Thank you,
That
Chewy.
was a really well put thing there.
Small Wookiee upper bottom. But if you know, for drummers, the basics of you're sitting there, you can play grooves on your legs. If you're listening to songs, if you're listening to the radio, if you're wherever you are and listening to music, you can practice drumming just by tapping on various things.
You can't do that on a motorbike though, can you?
No.
When you're at traffic station.
Yeah, it's a bit different. But you can be walking along if you've gone out for a walk, or you're walking your dog and you've got something going on ahead. You can be walking along and just literally have your lead round your wrist and just be sort of just tapping.
The dog would be like.
Yeah, dog going. But anything percussive where you're taking in that information is practice. So we use it for if you're going for a car journey and you've got an hour's car journey. As a drummer, you can sit there while you're driving, just tapping on the steering wheel and just taking in the drum parts of what's going on. It's one of the only instruments where you can do that. All other instruments, where for example, guitar, bass, piano, you need to have the instrument in front of you to make sure that you get the sound. Drummers have learnt to play by just air drumming or tapping on things. So when they sit down at the kit, it takes a little while just to get used to the actual feel of things, but all the actions and motor motions are there. So if you're sort of looking to learn songs, listening to songs and actually just like tapping along to them, whether it's White Snake, Is This Love, sitting there,
You can try and imitate it, but yeah, it's not always. I suppose you can do it basically, but I wouldn't ordinarily be able to. Because I listen to music all the time when I'm going to and from work. I can't pick out. I can pick it out really well, but I can't always necessarily copy that.
No, but that's because you have to do basically a conscious listening exercise to do that.
I can't when I'm driving.
Yeah, but that's the thing when you're driving.
Riding.
You ask when you're riding a motorbike, it's different. But if you're driving a car, then you can do that kind of thing. If you're sat just in a bedroom listening to a song, it's the switch over from listening to music casually to listening critically. There's a big difference. So, for example, as a bass player, if I listen to a song and I just listen to just the song in general, I might not be listening to what the bass is doing. So therefore, if I make a sort of a conscious effort to listen to the bass, if I can sing the bass lines, same as if a person listening to a drum beat can say, yeah, the drum beat goes like this, boom, cat, dun, cat, dun, dun, ba, 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 bum, ba. You can sit there and go, okay, so that kind of goes, cat, bum, ba, ba, bum, bum, ba, 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 bum, ba.
Like I said though, wouldn't that be because you personally are trained in that? So
no.
you can pick it all up from.
No, you can learn by just by ear. If you can sound off how it should sound.
That's true. That's how I learned how to play the piano.
Yeah. So and it's playing by ear. So if I showed you a groove, okay.
Oh, you've got some lovely pawn things on here.
Oh, the pawn's in. Okay.
Oh,
right, I'm just going to play you a quick groove, and I want you to sound it back to me using, boom and car and all that kind of thing. Okay, so. So boom ba da ba ba dum ba bum ba da ba ba dum da bum ba da ba ba bum ba 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 da ba ba. So that is how we would verbally sound it. So I'd sit here, someone say to me, yeah, you know that groove that goes bum ba da ba ba bum ba bum ba da ba ba. I could probably interpret it different. I think, what do you mean, like bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba, or bum sort of
like disturbed.
ba 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 ba. Yeah, but generally, once we know how to verbalise it, that gives us a clue to how we should interpret on the kit. Translate, yeah. And same as if you learn a bass line. If I'm listening to a song and I start, singing the bass line, like the start of Sweet Child of Mine, Guns N' Roses. Bass line goes dun 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 dun. If I wasn't listening to that and someone said, right, what's the bass line of that? I've got nothing to go on if I've never critically listened to it. As soon as I put that time in to hear it, maybe learn to hum it. Like, can you hum to me? No, you can hum. I'm not going to ask you to sing. But the bass line to Another One Bites the Dust.
Yeah. I'm not going to hum along to it, though.
How does it go?
No,
you can hum.
I don't want to.
Okay. But dum dum dum.
Yeah.
Bum bum ba ba bum. So immediately you know, okay, so that kind of gives me an idea of what I'm aiming for. And it's the same with drums. So if you put the time in to listen to drums, try and work out what the bass drum is doing, what the snare drum's doing, just a few listens can kind of give you a good enough idea of what you're aiming for. And that critical listening is a really, really important part of learning drums. Rather than when you sit down at a kit and like you've got to learn a song. If you've never critically listened to that song, it's a really overwhelming kind of, oh my God, where do I even start? But if you've listened to a song like you've listened to Radio Gaga, so you probably know the bass, the drums sort of like...
I've seen Josh play it and I've never been able to picture myself playing it because he plays it. I've watched him play it.
Oh, Josh will sort of like tart it up a little bit.
Oh yeah, he likes to add the extra notes.
Every breath you take, Sting. That's a really good example. So we know that we can picture that guitar part as soon as we hear it. Boom, 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 boom,
Did
boom,
Pete
boom,
Diddy
boom,
do it as
boom,
well?
boom, boom. Oh, don't get it. It's hard to know if you're not around. I know you're in heaven smiling. It's just like, oh, it just sounds shit.
Isn't it talking about B.I.G.?
Yeah. But, yeah, so we can picture that song. We can picture the guitar part. We can picture the vocals. And, you know, the drums are fairly simple in it. So they sort of ba, boom, ka, boom, boom, da, boom, ba, boom, boom, I think. Not sure for definite. But, again, just a very simple bass line in there. But if we listen,
nice bass line.
Yeah, it's just a nice, straightforward plays for the song bass line.
I think I tried to look that up once to play on bass, and I couldn't find it, and I was upset.
But yeah, so what I'm trying to say with all this is, with being an adult, you will have to come up with kind of constructive ways to listen and learn music because you won't necessarily have the time that young people do. They can sit in their room,
or the brain.
Yeah,
that a young person does.
They could be angry at their parents and angry at the world and sit down and take out hours and hours of frustration on their instrument. Read into that as you will. Scientifically, it's found that the song can have listened to every part of a time in a. Scientifically, it is found that this song can.
We listen.
We listen every part of a time in a day. Is that true? I don't know. I'll have to take your word on that one. But yeah, so it's not impossible, and when you do get the time to practice, what I would consider doing is a combination of running over techniques that you've already done that you need and trying to learn something new. So for a drummer, if you're sitting back at the kit and it's been a long while since you've played, I would say do this. First of all, just play a couple of grooves. Get back into the feel of things, start changing them up a bit, start not just playing one groove for like 10 minutes, start off, get comfortable, start adding bits, start playing around with it, adding in lots of different exercises and just trying different things.
I think I get what you're saying, but sometimes I struggle without having guidance. So if I'm sitting there, my brain will go off in all different directions and I can get to a point, because you've said to me multiple occasions to practice by myself. Right, okay, that's great. But when I don't know a lot of technicalities of it and I'm allowing my own brain to picture various different songs or various different techniques, I will get to a point and I'll be like, yeah, I can't do it anymore.
Well, if that's the case, if you haven't got that sort of that inventory of drum beats in there already, with some of the documentation we've run over, literally put the sheet up in front of you and play that sheet just in one go. If you can sight read it, so if we were looking at the sheet that we put up originally, which has the sort of real basic rock rhythms, the first one be Second one. Third one was probably this. Fourth one was probably this. Fifth one maybe. Then probably.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're just sight reading this. That is a really good way of refreshing yourself on various things, and just quickly practicing the techniques, throwing them in there. Same with drum fills. Just get a sheet of the drum fills that you're playing, so your real simple ones. Read the next line, probably. Oh, sorry. Whatever the next one is, probably off the top of my head, and then.
I think somebody's writing. Is that Russian?
VUN for your information. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. If you can please elaborate.
Is it? Oh, it maybe his name. The name.
Is it your name? I'm not sure. Please elaborate. Let us know what we are talking about there. But yeah, so that is what I would suggest if you're limited on time and you're not sure what to play.
I'm limited on capacity.
Yeah, limited. Then just race through a bunch of exercises, and then think, right, the things I've got to practice. If my hands aren't very accurate, if I'm struggling with my left hand, do some exercises that will strengthen the hands. Some double hits. Focusing on the hands individually to try and improve. Play left-handed as well. Play your right-handed grooves on the ride. Play left-handed. You know, play through those grooves on that sheet both ways round.
I know, because you've got to learn it from both ways.
Yeah, exactly. If you learn both ways, that really, really helps your technique. And then also practice just going round the drum kit. Very, very important.
This has just popped up as an alert. What has?
What's that, Dave? What's popped up as alert? What, my stream or?
I don't know what we're.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on at the moment. So please let us know what's going on.
It's not all the bots and everything.
Unless it could be the bots. Maybe, I'm not sure.
No.
Guitar, a great drummer, Japanese style. No Japanese. Yeah, I mean, Japanese drumming is incredibly impressive. I've seen some clips of it. I don't know much about it, but I have watched it, and it is very impressive.
I know your coffee link isn't working by the looks of it. It just keeps
yeah,
saying
that's
loading.
not. Yeah, I'll need to see what was going on with this computer. Unfortunately, a computer crash can screw a lot of things up. So yeah, one of the good things, just practicing going around the kit. That is a really good practice, and once you're comfortable, bring the speed up. And speed up and up until you start to see where your hand is lacking. Drop the speed down a bit, work on that till you get it more comfortably. So these are the kind of things that you can practice quite easily. And also, if you can buy a practice pad, one of the key things for being a drummer is just having a pad that you can put on your legs. If you're sitting in bed and you're not going to annoy everyone, you can just sit with a pad on your leg and just practice your sticking patterns, because that's the most important thing. You don't have to be sitting in front of a kit to practice. If you've got a practice pad and you can do it while you're watching a film, anything, you can do it as long as you just can set some time aside to just work. That's not very good. Need to practice on them. I haven't played properly either for a while. But yeah, so all these different things, you can practice your grooves on a pad. You know, just also we see drums in wars to regulate the fighting style. That's also very true. So Yeah, these are the kind of things that you can do if you are an adult who is struggling to find the time to practice. It's not as great as sitting down in front of a kit and having the time to really relate to your instrument. But if you can just set aside half an hour just to keep on top of your, just some exercises to keep everything flowing, that really, really helps. So that is my suggestion. So with that in mind, we will next week. So we'll see how Carrie gets on. Obviously, a lot of this depends. Cheers, Pete. Thank you, buddy. A lot of this will depend on time and how much time Carrie can dedicate to it. So we shall see how it goes.
Well, I'm trying to do it every week, aren't I?
Yeah, we're going to try and get back into a regular weekly stream, but it's going to be touch and go depending on everything that we have going on. But we shall try our best. All right, everyone. Apologies for the technical issues. I'm hoping it was just a one-off, because if it's not and it's going to be a regular problem, then I'm going to end up having to buy a new computer. And that is going to be a clusterfuck of biblical proportions.
Yeah, for you, the amount of stuff you've got anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really not looking forward to that. All right, everyone. Thank you for bearing with us. And so I know this has been a bit of a kind of a last-minute throw-in, but we will try and persist and see how we get on. So all the best to you all. If you are about tomorrow night, I will be doing one of my bumfoolery streams. It's a bit of a special one. There is I'm going to be raising money during that stream. I'm going to be putting some of my own money in. Any donations that get given to the stream tomorrow will be going to a certain special cause that I will talk about tomorrow. It's in regards to one of our followers on our channel. They don't know who they are yet, but they've been going through some hard times, and I want to try and show not only my support, but if you guys want to show your support as well and help them out, then that will be very much appreciated. So that will be revealed tomorrow at the start of the stream. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
All the best. Take care. Mwah. Tatty bye. See you soon.